What's going on YouTube? So if you have a need for luxury but need the most capability a truck can offer, the GMC Sierra HD has long been one of the very best choices.
And with a heavy refresh for 2024, GMC is taking this 2500 model to ultimate levels.
So is this worth the money? Let's go ahead and find out. This, of course, is a very large truck, so you've got some large engines to power this thing. 6.6 liter V8 is going to be the standard option, or you can upgrade to the 6.6 liter turbo diesel V8. That's going to be making massive numbers: 470 horsepower, 975 pound-feet of torque, which is more for 2024.
That's not the only change for 2024 though. We have a 10-speed Allison automatic transmission, which is now available on both of the trim levels, which previously that was not the case, so that's a big upgrade this year. Fuel economy testing is not required for trucks of this size, but there's quite a few changes on the outside that we can't wait to show you, as well as the inside. So let's go ahead and dive into that. But first, let's go ahead and shut up the hood. Drew, we should have brought our step stool today.
Yeah.
I promise. We're full-size adults. We're not midgets. This
Yes.
truck is just massive.
Now, like Mason just said, there are quite a few upgrades when it comes to the front end design. This is actually the area where they really focus the most on for this 2024 refresh. So, what are you going to notice? Well, you're going to notice kind of a different shape to the grille. This is going to look more aggressive than the outgoing version. On this specific version, we have the AT4. So that's going to give us that kind of tough, rugged look. You're always going to be looking at this kind of dark chrome finish that goes through here. I think it looks really excellent overall. Plus you have features, because this is a heavy duty truck and needs a lot of airflow, like this big hood vent. It just adds to that tough, muscular look. Now, another big place where they made improvements is going to be the headlights. So we have the premium LED headlights. These are actually standard on all models. You'll notice we have projector LEDs there in the center, the giant bracket-shaped LED daytime running light, and a really cool dynamic turn signal that runs through it. Down here in our meaty bumpers, you have a little accent that leads into your LED fog lights on most models. We do have some big recovery hooks here with the AT4. And I do want to remind you guys that there is an upcoming AT4X model. That one's going to be even a little bit more capable than this model. Now, taking a look at the rear design, you're not going to notice as many changes as in the front. Really, you're primarily looking at some updates to the taillights. That's Mason's jurisdiction,
yeah, it
so
is
I'll
my
let him
jurisdiction.
start talking about that.
Drew, go ahead and get inside, and we're going to see if all the elements of these taillights are LED. Like Drew said, they are updated. I like the design of them. So we have an LED brake light portion, LED reverse light, and as you can see, it actually is dynamic, just like the ones up in the front, which really gives it that premium upscale look. Now, that is only going to be on your higher-end Sierra 2500s, as you would expect, but it is very nice that they're including that. Big GMC branding. And then as we drop down to this lower area, all this is going to be finished in a body color. You're probably most concerned about the tow rating. It can go up to 36,000 pounds if you choose specific models. However, this 2500 crew cab model is 21,900 pounds when you choose the max trailering package, which we do have on this particular model. Now, it's a truck after all, so let's check out our bed for this model. Now, of course, you're seeing this tailgate design. That means we have the multi-pro tailgate, as a lot of GMC trucks have had for the last couple years. It's a very cool tailgate design, honestly, probably the coolest in the entire industry, although I will say the laptop setup here, you might be a little uncomfortable if you're under about 6'5". There are, of course, a lot of different ways that you can arrange that tailgate. You can see that in other GMC truck reviews that we've done. Now, as far as here in the cargo area, or the bed area, we're looking at a standard size bed on this model. As you can see, we do have a really nice bed liner for the AT4 model. We additionally have this little grab here to help get in the tailgate if you want to use the multi-pro tailgate itself, or you can also easily use these little side steps that I really like that a lot of GMC and Chevy trucks have. Additionally, we have some lighting on the side as well as a household power outlet to keep all of your things charged up if you want to do tailgating, or also to power your tools. Additionally, I do want to mention that we have a full-size spare tire integrated underneath of the bumper.
Let's talk a little bit about our wheels as well. Of course, you got a lot of different choices between the different trim levels. These are 20-inch alloy wheels. As you can see, even though they're 20 inches, they still look quite small just because of how large this truck is. But I certainly like the full gloss black finish. And since this is the AT4, you are going to wrap these in all-terrain tires as well. And you have your Rancho shocks located right there behind those big tires. With the Duramax diesel, you get the special branding right there. And of course, we have massive trailering mirrors. As you can see, larger than my head. You've got all the features as well. So you have heating, blind spot monitoring, auto dimming, and power folding on this model.
Now, if you didn't believe us as to how big this truck is at the front and rear, you can definitely see it here at the side. It is massive. It's basically the length of a football field on wheels. Now, we have the crew cab version. You can also get different cab configurations, but if you opt for crew cab, you're going to have two different bed choices, the standard bed, which is what we have today, or you also have the long bed option, which would make it even longer than what we have today. Now, additionally, I do want to point out you have this nice little side step to make entry into the front of the bed a little bit easier. And I do also want to talk about your safety systems when it comes to the Sierra HD model. Now, GMC is including 2 out of your 4 active safety features as standard for the 2500. Additionally, you're also going to get lane departure warning. Do be aware it's not active, though. It's not lane keep assist. Lastly, if you choose the Denali Ultimate model, you will have standard adaptive cruise control, or it is optional on other trim levels, but do be aware that you cannot get Super Cruise on any 2500 model like you can on the 1500 GMC Sierra. But guys, there's a lot of changes on the inside that I can't wait to show you. And
if you're new here, we're brothers, and we've been reviewing cars since we were 12
and 16. We may be young, but we love cars.
And we'd love for you to subscribe to be a part of our Car Confections family. Let's learn a lot, have some fun with all the latest cars.
All right, so let's go ahead and get into the interior, where the changes really are perhaps even bigger than with the outside. First off, here's the typical GMC key fob. As you can see, nothing too special here. You have remote start built into the key fob for most models. And you get inside, there's not a sensor behind the handle, so you just press the little chrome button and that will unlock the door. But you're going to notice that this interior is substantially different as soon as you peek your head inside. Basically, this has gotten the same upgrades that the 1500 model received last year, now bringing it up to all the full modern truck standards if you choose anything except for the base Pro trim level. Just be aware, if you choose the base Pro trim level, you're basically going to get last year's interior. All the rest of the models will get this new upgraded interior. But before we break down the details of what that means, let's talk about some color and material choices. Base models get the choice between cloth or vinyl. Once you get to the SLT or the AT4, that's going to get you real leather. As you can see with our AT4, nice looking perforated leather. Lots of brown accentings through here. This is going to be actually the only color option for AT4. And you also can get that really beautiful Denali Ultimate model with the real leather in exclusive Alpine umber. Now, as far as the seats themselves, 10-way power adjusting with our 2-way lumbar support. We do also have memory seats on board as well. But let's climb inside. Stepping inside the truck is not too hard when you have the running boards that this model has. And as you can see, our really massively upgraded technology is showing off as soon as you climb inside, because it has a beautiful looking animation flash across the gauge cluster and the main infotainment display. All right, now finishing out the interior materials, let's talk about the rest of the cabin. Again, vastly improved over what it previously was. So we have leather all through here, including the lower sections with piping. We have a faux carbon fiber trim for this AT4 model, soft touch along the top. We have a full leatherette covered upper dashboard. Looks really nice, has the brown piping across the top. We have a kind of aluminum looking trim that runs through the center section, more padded leather material running all through here and down to our lower console. Everything does feel nice and solid, including our big metal push button start. So let's fire it up. Now moving into a first-person perspective for a closer look at the details, I'm happy to report you don't have to go up to a really high-end trim level to get this 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster. It's actually going to be included on all but the base model. As you can see, nice looking gauge cluster. There's a lot of customizability with this system as well. Plus, we do have a very large 15-inch head-up display, and you can also customize this to have several different kinds of information. Right now we have up the off-road information, which is, of course, pretty useful if you're going to take this AT4 off-road. Going back to the steering wheel, typical GMC affair. We do have steering wheel heating on board. It is going to be manual tilt and telescoping across all of the trim levels, and most of the trim levels do have the availability of steering wheel heating. Now, let's take a look at our storage. That, of course, is one of the things that really stands out about heavy-duty trucks, is that you just have an enormous amount of places to stick things, including our center console here. Large removable storage bin. That's just the beginning of it, though. We have a huge, super deep console area, rubber line down at the bottom, household outlet inside, wireless phone charging pad right there, 2 more USBs right there. And I gotta throw the coupons in there, even though it's absolutely ridiculous. It handles that no problem whatsoever. Now, of course, as we move forward, we've got our cup holders. You have more storage up there, more USB ports, more storage along the side, more storage in the doors. Of course, you have your glove box. You also have your upper storage bin here at the top. If you run out of storage in this, you're probably a hoarder. Just saying. All right, now, of course, one of the things that really helps your storage situation is, even opposed to the 1500 model, which would have an electronic shifter here, all versions of the heavy-duty trucks will continue with the traditional column-mounted shifter. Of course, you're just going to pull down for drive. You can manually control the gears with those little toggles. When you go into reverse, when you have an upper-end model, that's going to give you access to this 360-degree camera system. There are a ton of cameras on board, so you have both your traditional and overhead views, but you also have things like a trailer hookup view. You can also have a bed view. Really a ton of different options for this backup camera. Now, the next area to kind of focus in on will be the climate controls. We've got a dual zone automatic setup here on the SLT trim level or above. As you can see, nice finished buttons, really high quality. You can make all your adjustments physically here, so you don't have to go in the display or anything like that. Off to the side, the SLT and above will also come with 3-stage heated seats, and if you get the AT4 or above, that will get you the 3-stage seat ventilation as well. And before we talk about the display, let's go ahead and take a sample of the optional 12-speaker Bose premium sound system. Yeah, overall, a very nice sounding sound system. Really fills up this cabin well. Okay, so let's talk about the display. This, of course, is going to be a night and day difference if you have an older version of the Sierra HD, because we have a 13.4-inch high-definition display. Not only is the display itself upgraded, but we're now running the Android Automotive-based infotainment system. What that means is primarily that you have faster performance and that you have built-in Google applications. So you'll see we have Google Assistant, Google Play Store. We also have Google Maps built right in, and you have wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay as well. Up above, we have another screen, because if you flip that switch, this will become the rear camera mirror system. It's an available option on AT4. We also have the 3 HomeLink universal remotes at the top. And at the very top along the roof, you'll notice a standard size sunroof. This is going to be optional on most trim levels. It is standard on the top end Denali Ultimate.
Now, one of the areas where this Sierra is not going to change for 2024 is your rear seat area. We're still going to have 43.4 inches of rear legroom if you choose the crew cab model, and 40.1 inches of headroom. Guys, this is enough for any size human being to sit back here. It certainly is a ton of space. It's right in line with that of its main rivals like the Ford Super Duty as well as the Silverado, as you would expect. And I did bring my handy dandy bendy ruler because we like to measure things. And we're sitting at a solid about 11.5, almost a foot of space between my knee and the seat back. I'm 5'9". The seat is adjusted to Drew, who is 5'8". My feet can also slide up underneath the seat. Also, I want to point out this middle seat is very, very wide, so anyone's going to be able to fit in this middle seat as well. Now, we do also have 2 cup holders up top. Additionally, if you choose the AT4 model or above, you're going to get 3-stage heated rear seats. Down below that, we have a USB-C, a USB-A. We have standard rear air vents on every single model, although I will say they're quite small for a truck of this size. And then if we fold down the center armrest, we do have 2 cup holders inside, a little storage cubby in between. And as far as your door trim is concerned, it's going to be made of mostly nice materials. We have a soft touch padding on the upper part to rest your arm, some faux carbon fiber trim, more padding where our arm rests, and then down below that we have a lot of bottle storage. And let's check out the storage solutions. You can lift the seat bottoms up, and inside of here you have a little bit of sectioned off storage. Additionally, you can just hide stuff underneath the seat. As you can see, we put our tripod as well as a few other things back there. Additionally, you have this rear seat compartment right here that really is good for hiding stuff. Well guys, we are behind the wheel of the refreshed 2024 GMC Sierra 2500 HD. This is a big boy. We're behind the wheel of it, and we're going to be talking about a lot of different things in this test drive, including getting our sound level reading. But first, we will start with a hard acceleration.
We didn't have a lot of space before we come up on this red light, but you don't need a lot of space in this. Despite the enormous size of it, the power just overcomes. I mean, it doesn't even feel, dare I say, all that big when you're driving it. I mean, of course, the view and stuff is huge, but as far as the mass is concerned, the torque just makes it absolutely effortless, which is really insane when you consider, like I said, how big this is.
Yeah, now of course on this model we do have the optional Duramax 6.6 liter turbo diesel V8. This thing is incredibly powerful, and it has been updated for 2024 to give you even more power and torque, because that's of course kind of these big trucks thing is like a numbers game. Who can have the most torque? Who can have the most horsepower?
Right.
So they're trying to stay on top here with the numbers.
Well, I mean, technically they are a little behind because they're not over 1,000 pound-feet of torque. They're only 975 pound-feet of torque. But guys, come on. I mean, the torque is still insane. You know, a normal car is like doing 200 pound-feet of torque. This is nearly 1,000. And that, of course, is, what really allows you to be able to tow the enormous amounts that you can tow. I feel like most people are going for this optional Duramax diesel because it really maximizes, just how much capability you have. Not that the standard V8 is not capable. It certainly is very capable. It's also, enhanced for 2024 because it now has the 10-speed automatic, just like this model has or already had before. So both of the models are more capable than ever, really is the takeaway.
Now, if you're looking for raw power figures for the standard engine, it's 401 horsepower, 464 pound-feet of torque, and the horsepower on this turbo diesel is 470 horsepower, and then, of course, the 975 pound-feet of torque, as we've been mentioning throughout this. The 10-speed automatic is a big deal for a lot of truck buyers. People like the Allison 10-speed automatic, and they are throwing that in on all versions of this heavy-duty truck, which certainly is a big benefit and big upgrade this year. It just like pushes you so far back in your seat.
And I just want to comment, we already mentioned, you know, the 10-speed automatic, but it is so smooth, guys. I mean, it's just like butter. It goes right through the gears.
Yeah, and also something that I'm very impressed with is the ride quality for the Sierra HD. We have the AT4 trim level, which isn't even like the Denali Ultimate or anything like that, and it still has such a good ride quality. Of course, it's a tank, so when you hit a pothole, it's just a little wee bitty pothole. Even if it's a big one for a car, you're barely going to feel it in a truck like this. And the suspension does a fantastic job. You saw the springs on the outside, especially for this AT4X. It just does a great job of soaking up the bumps. The seats are also very comfortable. No complaints when it comes to the ride quality. You can just cruise down the highway in ultimate comfort in this vehicle.
Yeah, I have to say, I'm impressed by just how there's not a lot of vibration. We're, of course, unloaded. We don't have a trailer or anything in the bed whatsoever, and a lot of times with the HD trucks, you can kind of bounce when you're going down the highway. I'm not really feeling that so much in this AT4. Really nice.
Yeah, and I do want to get our sound level reading, because that's something that we do in all of our Car Confections videos, and we will get that going 55 miles per hour. We've officially settled in at 54.1 decibels. And what am I going to do? I'm going to go to carconfections.com, which is our all-new website. And on our website, we have all of the sound level readings from all of the vehicles that we review on this channel, which I know is a lot of products. So you guys will want to check that out yourself. Go to carconfections.com and go to our sound level readings tab, where you can see how it compares to all of the other trucks on the market. So I'm going to compare it to other full-size pickups, and this is one of the quietest options. I believe it ranks at number 3 in the segment. It dethroned the also related 2024 Silverado 2500 HD, which came in at 54.5. So this is just slightly quieter, which that's not unexpected, because this is a GMC, a little bit more premium than that Silverado, but certainly a very quiet choice for the segment.
This wouldn't be a Car Confections review without the airball and the slam dunk, our least favorite and our most favorite thing about this vehicle. So I'll start off with the slam dunk. That's got to be the enhanced interior. You know, this was always a super capable truck, right? It had all the things that you wanted, but the cabin wasn't a luxurious experience before. Now they've really upped the ante here, because now you have the capability, but you also have the luxury to go along with it, and the enhanced technology. So really it's a big change from what it was last year.
Yeah, and as far as our airball is concerned, I'd say the main thing that this vehicle is still lacking is a panoramic moonroof. A lot of the competition, I believe all of the competition, offers that, especially when you're at an upper end price point like this. Also, we're not a huge fan of this column mounted shifter. You kind of always hit the wrong gear when you try and go into drive or reverse or whatnot. So I wish they had updated those two elements for this 2024 refresh. And finally, I do want to mention that fuel economy is not available for full-size heavy-duty trucks like this, and your warranty is going to be GMC signature warranty, 3-year 36,000-mile basic, 5-year 60,000-mile powertrain. Additionally, you're also going to get 1 year of complimentary maintenance. And finally, let's talk price. You know, big trucks like this are not cheap, and indeed, this is not a cheap truck. We're starting at $52,795 for the Pro trim level. There's a lot of different trims ending in the Denali Ultimate, which starts at $93,795. Now, this particular model here is the AT4, which starts at about $70,000. We do have the optional turbo diesel engine, which is the big ticket item, as well as a few other things, plus the $1895 destination charge. We're looking at an all-told price of $86,595 as tested. And that's where we're going to leave off on this big truck review of the 2024 refreshed GMC Sierra 2500 AT4. If you enjoyed watching this video or found it helpful in your purchasing decisions, we would certainly appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button down below. By doing that, you're going to get notifications on some of our most recent content, and more importantly, you're going to be joining this Car Confections family, and we talk all about cars all the time, so you won't want to miss out on that. If you're already a subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support, because you do make this all possible. Also, check out our all-new website at carconfections.com, as well as check out our Instagram and TikTok pages. We'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.